Hey y'all, I'm back with another Legacy video, and in this video, for the very first time on my channel, I am actually going to be playing Painter. This is a red Painter deck, and this is a list that I am taking from Robert, aka Lightwalker, who makes outstanding Painter content and is definitely a player I admire a lot. And I am taking this mono red list that features 2 Karn in it. And all of the goblins, Goblin Welder, Goblin Engineer, that really make a nice graveyard engine and a bit of redundancy and tutoring effects for the deck. I'm hoping to run into lots of blue decks because I'm packing 6 Red Blast effects in the main deck and some Magus of the Moons main deck, 3 main deck Magus, so this is a deck that definitely will be able to steal some wins and have a bit of cheese factor to it, which honestly, if you want to be super successful in Legacy, I think your deck has to have some sort of cheese win factor to it. Another pet card that there's 2 of in the list is Ensnaring Bridge. A lot of times you can end up pretty much locking an opponent out of the game via Ensnaring Bridge. And there's also one in the sideboard for Karn to grab. Sometimes Karn just getting that bridge means the Karn can protect itself, or maybe it'll die, but now you'll have the bridge, and that'll be very hard for the opponent to deal with, especially if it's game 1. And then at the very top end is the Chaos Defiler. Chaos Defiler is a pretty sweet card. It can really take over a game immediately, destroying all your opponent's permanents in combination with Goblin Welder. And it's a nice thing you can do turn 2 if you have a turn 1 Welder, and then turn 2 Engineer resolves and you already have an artifact. That's pretty much the most immediate game-winning play that you can make if you have that strong start. It's going to be a sweet league. I'm looking forward to playing Painter. I used to play a lot more Painter than I do now, but my love for the deck is strong. And I've been seeing Robert put up some really strong results, some trophies, and strong leagues. And so I hope to replicate that success in this video. All right, I'm on the play in the first round. And yeah, this hand's all right. I'll start with the Urza Saga. Maybe I'll start Ancient Tomb, play Painter. Yeah, I'll probably do that, because if they Wasteland, they'll Wasteland an unimportant land. Really, if the Saga gets Wastelanded, I'm pretty screwed. So I'll play Painter, name blue. And then now also if there's like a Thoughtseize, that's really not that bad. And this is a really threatening start from the perspective of the opponent. Like, they already have to be worried about dying next turn. If they do Wasteland, I will do the Saga. Okay, looks like my opponent probably also is up to something a bit unfair. Could be Doomsday. Ooh, probably Reanimator if they're unmasking themselves. Let's see what they're up to. Yeah, looks like turn 1 Gristlebrand. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, this is the sort of thing that you really want to avoid when playing Painter, is the fast combo, because you really just don't have much to say about that at all. So I'm almost certainly going to lose this. I suppose I could top deck Grindstone. Obviously my hand is not very susceptible to removal. I could also top deck Ensnaring Bridge. So let's just see what they're capable of doing here. They don't have Entomb in their deck, obviously. So, but they do have 7 more cards they can draw. Unmarked Grave, presumably getting Archon of Cruelty. I mean, I'll take a draw. I could top deck Ensnaring Bridge. And I should have plenty to say about this postboard. The Bayou makes me think they do have Witherbloom, Sire of Insanity. So if I discard my whole hand... Yeah, if they can reanimate this, I'll just scoop. Surely they can, though. Like, maybe they have to draw 7, and then it would have to be like Exhume or something like that. Or Animate Dead. Yeah, I'll just scoop. Alright, got turn 1. That's not going to be a great situation as a Painter player. So I want all the graveyard hate, but I think I want the bolts and abrades as well. Karn is going to be much too slow. I want the bridge. I don't think this is really an opportunity for Magus. I could take out the Goblin Welders because they could reanimate a welder, but I think I'm willing to risk it. I would much rather have the tutor effect. I don't want Chaos Defiler. I think I can trim some number of blasts, and then on 61, I think I can trim one Fable. No, this is a mulligan. Alright, I can keep this, but it's not very good. And my opponent is keeping... I'll just bottom the Pyroblast. I'll bottom the Welder. No, I will bottom the Pyroblast. Because I think I'm liable to get discarded here. And so Welder can help with that. And I won't play out the Grindstone. I don't know. I'm probably just going to die right now. But I didn't want to mulligan into Oblivion. Alright, they're passing the turn. Okay. Play Grindstone. I'll play City of Traders. If they discard me, they might lose on the spot. And then if there is no discard next turn, I can go Painter, and I still have 3 mana to Grindstone. So they need to kill me this turn. Okay, they kept a card on top. Battle. Could be a show and tell. All right, I'll put in Painter. And then I'll name black. And then they're going to be dead right here because they draw a card off of this. So I'll activate, target them. They're tapped out, so presumably they can't, like, shallow grave something. And then this trigger resolves. I'll sack the Painter, discard this, and then they draw a card and die. So, all right, that worked out pretty well. And I'm happy to see the show and tells. They did have Chain of Smog. I should have looked at their deck a little bit more. Yeah, Witherbloom, Chain of Smog. They have Show and Tell, Sarah's Emissary, Spoils of the Vault. It looks like they're okay. They do still have animation, reanimation stuff, but not a whole lot. I think I'll take the Fables out because I want the blasts back in. Maybe I could afford the Chaos Defiler, but that seems really, really risky. I'll leave one Fable in. This looks like a mull. I might be able to keep on the strength of the bolt. Yeah, and then if it comes down to show and tell, I can welder. So, like, there's stuff to do here. If they're mulling, I'm usually pretty loose on keeps. Like, if I can envision how this could win the game against a combo opponent like that, I'm usually willing to risk it rather than mulling really deep for a specific hand. And, like, seeing what they had last time, like, it's definitely a situation where I need to be more flexible because they have 3 ways that they can win, and I have sort of 2 of them covered. It really depends on how badly they discard me. And if I were them, I would probably keep a Thoughtseize or Unmask in the hand since I kept 7 and fire that off turn 1. But we'll see. So no play means I could die to land plus Dark Ritual plus Chain of Smog plus Witherbloom, but that's 4 cards that is not currently represented here. So if that's their entire hand, I'll let them kill me that way. And then next turn will be Grindstone and Hold Up Bolt. And then the Engineer can be put in off a Show and Tell if necessary. They could also just discard my Engineer, and then I'm kind of in trouble. But they didn't have discard that turn. And they get to surveil. Hopefully they don't surveil a monster into the yard. It definitely seemed like they had cut a good bit of those monsters, though. Thoughtseize, okay. So they either need some action or they already have a Thoughtseize or something. All right, they're passing here. Perhaps, yeah, okay. Pyroblast is great. That's another reason not to tap out. So I'll play the Grindstone, and then next turn, I have the Engineer. I'm not swinging just in case they do happen to show and tell. Okay, they probably drew that Petal for turn. So Dark Ritual plus Witherbloom plus Chain could get me. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, this is fine. I will let them target themselves and empty their hand. Obviously, if they have a monster and then they can reanimate, that's bad, but next turn I can go Engineer and clear their graveyard. So, thinking this is going to be pretty good for me. 2 Gristlebrands, sure. And then they copy it. And then just with the copy on the stack, I'm going to bolt this thing. And my opponent says GG's. Wow. I'm a little surprised they're not going to play that out, knowing that they have Reanimates in their deck, but I was going to be able to shut the door on that. And I was going to draw Ensnaring Bridge, which is pretty good. So it was definitely looking positive for me from this perspective, but I don't know. When you have a Gristlebrand in the yard ready to go, I might take a draw step or two. Anyway, GG's, on to the next one. All right, I'm on the draw for the second match. This hand looks really good. I will certainly keep it. But let's see what my opponent's up to. So I could turn 2. But it's looking more likely that this Pyroblast might hit a Tamiyo here. Okay, just ponder. All right, interesting decision here. I think I like playing the Painter and name blue. If he gets dazed, that would stink. Name blue. A piece of fast mana means I could win next turn backed by Pyroblast. Could just be a fatal push. Yeah. Well, maybe I was supposed to be more patient there and keep the Painter protected. Especially now that my action is really light. But I'll see. It's still pretty unclear what my opponent is doing. I mean, I guess it's most likely Dimir Tempo if they had the fatal push. Now they shuffled. Another Grindstone, not great. I'll play one Grindstone, and then I'll play the other one. Oh, amazing. This is getting forced. Sure. Pitching a Daze, so I'll play a Mountain. I'll play the other Grindstone. And now I have Pyroblast up. Well, I went for the fast kill, and that was probably ill-advised. Another Ancient Tomb, not great. I'll play out Great Furnace. This could be like end of turn Bowmaster into a Kaito, but it's not. If they are Doomsday, they're in trouble. Snapcaster Mage. Well, that's going to be a Pyroblast right there. Because that's going to get back Ponder, and then they get another card, so... Interesting though, Snapcaster Mage. Welder, that's a nice draw. I'll just hold the lands. I suppose I should play one out. Because then, like, if they wasteland me, then next turn I would want to be able to have Pyroblast up. Well, it won't matter. My opponent is fetching here, so they could have a 4-drop. That's scary. Kaito. Yeah. I think this game is approaching done if I don't answer this immediately or win immediately. Saga's not bad. It's a reason to keep playing. And they weren't so desperate as to zero the Kaito to Surveil. I probably would have done that. So they are going to get to draw some cards here, but hopefully the Saga constructs keep up with that. So they Surveil 2 cards to the yard, so they drew a random card. Tamiyo is really good. And a flip Tamiyo is really good. And I should have Grindstone target them in response to the cast of Brainstorm. Because if they're Brainstorm locked, I'm certainly not gonna activate Grindstone and target them, but I did want to do that. So that's a play that's not super likely to matter. I could grind myself, but I already have Painter in the yard. The only thing I would be able to hit would be Phyrexian Dragon Engine. Yeah, I'll target myself. No such luck. Ooh. Alright. Alright, they have Force of Will. So I'll just hold the lands. Sadly, that Tamiyo could like pick up a Fatal Push. I don't have Needle in the main deck. Yeah, they're picking up Fatal Push. Pretty wise. So I think my best draw is still a Painter. That might be necessary to win this game. Yeah, my opponent gets even a little bit more selection. I'm not dead next turn. Well, they can minus the Kaito. So if I take any life off of Tombs... Okay. So they have one Fatal Push. And now with these, like, they could pretty much save it for Painter. Ensnaring Bridge would be a nice top deck. Karn does get Ensnaring Bridge. Wow. That actually might be a good enough top deck. So I could also... So let's see if I have enough mana here. So I could get Soul Guide Lantern, exile Painter, cast Karn, get Painter. That would cost a lot of mana. That's going to cost 4 plus 2 plus another 3. But then they also have the Fatal Push. So that wouldn't work just yet. That being said, I definitely want to get the Karn in. I'll get Soul Guide Lantern. I'll exile one of these Painters, so I have access to that play. I'll play City of Traders. Cast Karn. I could attempt to kill the Tamiyo here, but they could just chump. Then I exile. I probably should have done this play before casting Karn, but I think I had a mana floating. I'm gonna attack Tamiyo, and they just let it die. Okay, minus the Karn. Get Bridge. Cast Bridge. And I am momentarily stable here. All right, awesome. So their best card is Petty Theft right now. But I think they're just surveilling here. Yeah, because their card in hand is Fatal Push. One card on top of the library. Be a shame if I was able to get that card off the top of their library. And I guess they're activating the... Yeah, they're like gonna cast this Nethergoyf here. They can make these 1/2s, but then I can make them 0s. They could get them back to 1 by Fatal Pushing, but then they don't have the push. I think they're going to exile their whole yard here with the Nethergoyf, because you can exile any number of cards that have 4 types. I'll feel really good if I can get Hellbent next turn. They might leave 1 card in their graveyard. Like, that would be, I think, what they're supposed to do. Okay. Yeah, so they've got some 1/2s. So that was smart. But now I can force the push out of their hand if they want to push damage here. Ooh, and they're doing it now. This was a mistake. So that's a good line, but now I can clear their yard. So these do nothing. And now because they did it that way, and I take no damage, they're dead. Because I can minus, get Painter, get the Painter out of exile, cast Painter, and yeah, they scoop it up. And they are in the chat bemoaning their play. It was a tricky situation. But yeah, if they hadn't gone for the lethal attack there, they'd still have game to play because I couldn't tap these tombs. So It would have been good, though they had that card that they kept on top with Kaito, so that would have been really tempting to like activate Grindstone, target that. Yeah, interesting. Very interesting game there. I also could have just played all of these cards out and kept it at 0. So, yeah, interesting. So against a Dimir deck with Tamiyo, I want maximum Tamiyo answers. I don't know if it's a Wasteland deck, so I don't know if like getting up to Karn could be reasonable. They are a Bowmaster deck, and when I play against Painter, I take my Bowmasters out, but I think I should take out the sort of high roll cheese factor. And then they were a Daze deck, so I'm just gonna assume I want to be a bit lower to the ground than the Karns. Maybe I'll bring them back in on the play. Magus could be good. Yeah, this seems like a nice tight list. Well, yeah, this is a weak keep for sure. As Robert always says, the Phyrexian Dragon Engine is always in hand. But you know, it is a 4-power smasher, and there's plenty of ways to discard, and then it's in your graveyard where you want it. So, I don't know. I'm not in the habit of putting back Painter, Pyroblast, good mana hands. If this is a turn 1 Tamiyo, I can play around Daze and Pyroblast it. They're not respecting Magus. Thoughtseize, sure. I'm guessing they take Pyroblast. They could take Painter. Also of note in this Ensnaring Bridge matchup is that my opponent is down by over 5 minutes on the clock, so that definitely comes up a lot in Painter matches. Ensnaring Bridge really does slow the game down tremendously and limit the number of cards that are good in a deck. Interesting. They took Phyrexian Dragon Engine. That had to be wrong. Magus, really good. I don't think I'm just going to jam Magus when I know that I can back it by Pyroblast next turn. So if they have another Thoughtseize, they got me, but then I would still have Painter and Blast, so. Now, slamming Magus, okay. Null Rod. Well, I won't have Blast backup, but I will be slamming the Magus. Let's do it. This just seems like the game if it resolves. All right. Well, that's also nice because now I can't get wastelanded. I mean, I kind of wastelanded myself. My opponent says, geez, good games. Yeah, Magus will do that. So, anyway, one cheese game, one really good top deck card where I had the mana to get the bridge right away. Pretty lucky one. Right, I'm on the play. Match 3. This is literally the same hand I just had in the last match. The last game 2 of the last match. I'm gonna keep. My opponent's Seething Song. Seething Song avatar is a little scary. I've definitely played them before though. I don't 100% know what they're gonna be on. So I think this is just turn 1 Painter holding up Blast. If they wasteland me off the tomb, it's not the end of the world. But now I'm prepared for shenanigans of my opponents. If they Thoughtseize me, I can like Pyroblast their land and then they have to put Dragon Engine in my graveyard too. Okay, my opponent is just ending their turn. That's scary. Putting Atraxa in. Sure, that's very scary. If they have discard, I'm in trouble. I'll leave the Dragon Engine in. Interesting that this is the second fast Reanimator deck I've played against in this league. So I'm going to Pyroblast this. And let's just see if they have the guts to go for it after that. I mean, they should. Yeah, you get Atraxa. And it reveals... yeah, more crazy stuff. Colossal Grave Reaver. Well, they're probably going to unmask me, and that'll put the Dragon Engine into the yard. So I am actually pretty glad that I took that line. Top deck Grindstone also just wins. Top deck Ensnaring Bridge would also be very good. So a lot of times it can feel pretty brutal when... Okay, they took Cabal Therapy. They don't know my hand though. Maybe they're gonna Cabal Therapy the Grave Reaver. Okay. Cabal Therapy themselves, sure. Okay. Yeah. So they get a Gristlebrand too. Okay. I mean, it doesn't really matter what they do here as long as they can't get like an Archonic Cruelty. But yeah, it looks pretty bad. Stitcher Supplier trying to high roll, get another monster. No such luck. Taking Cabal Therapy, get another one. No luck. They're almost certainly going to miss on this. Probably his name Grindstone. Yeah. I mean, I would have played it out already if I had Grindstone. They'd be dead if I had Grindstone in hand. And interestingly, not drawing the 7 Engineer. I mean, that's something, right? So this thing has flying 14, so that's just 20 in the air. Yeah, I'm just dead to their attacks. All right, I don't know if this deck is going to be the same as the other one. This deck strikes me as more all in on the graveyard. So I'll bring in all these things. Bring out the take out the 3 drops. I will have 1 bolt. Flute could be good, but I don't really think so. So I will leave the Fables in, because I just don't know if Chain of Smog is really in the picture here. I'll bring in 1 more Lightning Bolt just as a hedge against that. Bolt could also cheese a win if their life total gets really low. And I guess I want to take the Chaos Defiler out, so I'll bring in that last Fable if I still can. Well, looks like I can't, so hopefully that won't come up. This looks like a mulligan, sadly. I guess I keep this bottom Defiler. Hope I don't get shown and told. And I'll pass here. Just hope I don't get discarded turn 1, but I mean, that's pretty likely. So they probably are a Witherbloom deck if they have the Bayou. Thought seizing themselves. Sure, just going for it again. Okay. Well, I can keep that off the board for a turn. And yeah, they have Chain of Smog. So I have to counter Reanimate, then I have to counter Animate Dead on the following turn. Counter target spell. Not terrible. Oh man, they found another Animate. So if I let this resolve, they lose 8 life. Yeah, so I will let this resolve. Yes, they get to mill stuff, but then I get to destroy this in response. And they could mill a better creature over, but if they get like Gristlebrand, for instance, they can't really pay the life. Okay, they got nothing there. Yeah, another one of these. Yeah. This is a really cool deck. Another one. And an Atraxa. You know, cool as this is, I think I'm ready to scoop it up. Yeah, I'm just gonna scoop this one here. Good game. Cool deck. Right, I'm on the draw. Nice hand. I think my opponent is known for playing Infect. Have to see if that's what they're on here. Doesn't look like it. Tamiyo, that's good. Looks just like Delver. I think I'll turn 1 Engineer. Get Dragon Engine. And then I have Engineer again next turn. Okay, flip Tamiyo is really good. Bolt is really likely. Okay. Well, I can Dragon Engine at my leisure. That's pretty nice. I I think it's another engineer here. They could daze this. And then this time, I think I want grindstone. And I don't have an attack because they've plussed their Tamiyo. So now they have to clear both of these things. Bobble. Yeah, so don't have to worry about Quarry Steelcutter this turn, most likely. But they kept a card on top. That's a cool interaction here. They could have, like let's say it was Bolt, they could mill it, and then they could -3 and pick up Bolt. Next turn will be an interesting turn, whether to go City or Mountain. Well, whatever they wanted is going to be in their hand, so. If they clear both of these things this turn, I'll be pretty sad that I didn't get a Dragon Engine activation. Okay, taking up the Tamiyo. Looks like they might be Brainstorm locked. Magus. Interesting. I think I'm going to play the City. I don't think I'm going to worry about Magus. Like, they could just bolt a Magus. Name blue. This is a pretty tough thing for them to overcome here. I don't think I need to do anything. If they wasteland me, I have the mountain. But I don't think I think they would have played out a wasteland there. They could be sandbagging it. If they have one removal spell, they do have 2 because the Tamiyo can minus. So they just need 2 total removal spells. But if they don't have 2, then this is going to be pretty good. And at any point I can flip the Dragon Engine to draw 3. Bolting the Painter. I think that's about the worst play they could have made, unless they can, like, mess with my graveyard. So I'll draw. Pyroblast is really nice. Okay, Ponder in second main means they're going to try really hard to protect the Tamiyo. Shuffled. Got the Wasteland, okay. That's going to make winning tough. I like Pyroblast here on end step on the Tamiyo. Daze. I mean, I'll pay for Daze. I might have missed a lethal line here. Bolting that guy. That's fine. All right, sweet. Getting the Tamiyo off the board felt important there. And I can't attack because this thing still has the Tamiyo trigger. I think I like just playing the other engineer. I don't think Magus is really worth it. And this time I can get Bridge. And I can even save my life by, at beginning of combat, welding this out for Bridge. Quarry Steelcutter. That's fine. Beginning of combat. Exchange the Dragon Engine for Bridge. And I think I've stabilized here. This will eventually get another Grindstone. I could also just Magus, cut them off blue, have Constructs forever. I'll do that. Like, the Saga on 2 plus Magus is really good. And now if they want to cast blue spells, they can't really target the Engineer until they deal with Magus. Sweet. Got there. Okay, Delver with Quarry. Definitely want all of these cards. Karn out. Probably Defiler out. But I definitely don't want the Maguses. I'll get the Bridge, and then that looks like a really nice tight list to play against this tempo deck. This looks like a mulligan. The mana is too bad. This is also pretty bad, but not as bad. I feel like it's probably just put back Engineer. I don't know if I want to use the Petal on it. I feel like I need to keep all the mana, and I might need to kill like a Tamiyo or something like that. Okay. And I'll go Saga plus Petal turn 1, depending on what I draw. Well, there's the Engineer. Don't think I can turn 1 Engineer. And this is kind of Wasteland bait here. Yep. Okay, so they almost certainly have a cutter, if I had to guess. So I'll play the Fable. Sort of hedging, putting the whole game on this moment here. But I can pay for a daze. And sweet. Okay, Unholy Heat on the token is not bad, but ooh, drawing the land is really good. I can probably get rid of a Braid now. Okay, Red Blast. I'll just play the bridge now. And if this set's dazed, I have Engineer. Obviously, like, those cutter tokens can still get underneath the bridge. They could Wasteland here. So still know about one card in their hand. They have the Surveil land. Tamiyo. It's pretty good in the face of bridge. But I do have the answer. I would love to see them aggro flip, but it's not happening. Okay. I just have to go for this. Bobble me in response. And it's gone. Sweet. And now a monk token can't get through because it would be equipped to Corey Steelcutter. So it's going to be quite a while before they get anything meaningful past this bridge. There's the Thundering Falls that I already knew about. Okay. So I'll play Engineer. I can copy it right away. I can't activate it right away. I'll just get Dragon Engine. I'll play my land. I'll copy this. Get Grindstone. And then I can't attack with it. I actually missed that. I could have gotten in a point of damage there. Think I'll be all right. I don't know if I should make a construct token and take life to do so. I think I should not. And then I could sack the bridge right now and get Dragon Engine, but I like the idea of getting a pedal off of this so that I can copy and activate in case they have Surgical. That would mean I would have to make a construct, so Welder is nice. So I'll make a construct, search, pedal, cast Welder. Now I can use the reflection to copy Welder. Sweet. Yeah, good game. Seems like they didn't have removal, and I was about to go pretty nuts here. So I was going to be able to draw at least 3 plus draw step every turn. At any point, I could find the Painter. So I'm just not sure what these cards in hand were. Yeah, that definitely wasn't the best game 2 for them. Right, I'm on the play. Definitely played my opponent a lot. Ooh, got a mulligan this. I think they're on Cloud Post most recently, Blue Cloud Post. This is another kind of awkward one, but I'm definitely going to keep it. I'll just put back Chaos Defiler and Mountain plus Pedal at the beginning. I feel like Cloud Post should be a reasonable matchup for Painter. Like, they have the cards and the One Rings, but it's a little less all-in and a little less fast than the Mystic Forge deck, and I've been seeing a lot more Blue Cloud Posts than Mystic Forge lately. Seems like what people are starting to prefer. So I think that's slightly good for Painter. Now, I did play this matchup earlier, but that's not what this is, obviously. Okay, getting a Tundra and a Tamiyo, sure. All right, another land is good. I will play Saga, and I'll cast Engineer. And I'll get Dragon Engine. There's many things my opponent could be playing right now. Okay, Ponder pre-combat is interesting. And they shuffle. And they have the Saga, so it's probably Breakfast. Oh, man. Soul Guide Lantern. It's a bummer. Well, I think I should jam Karn next turn then. Chaos Defiler will be nice. Let's just try this. Force Pitch Lorien revealed. Interesting. Might not be Breakfast, but it still could be. So next turn I can still Chaos Defiler if I get a pedal off of Urza Saga. They didn't have Daze that turn. This looks like a Kaido. Okay, no Kaido. Alright, I think this is just jam Chaos Defiler. They probably make a Construct now. Well, they didn't. And I'll play the other Saga. I think I'm pretty unfavored from this position. Okay, making a Construct. I mean, I think I just killed Tamiyo. I feel like this is a distraction. I'll be interested to see what they get off of this Saga. Yeah, I just have to kill Tamiyo. If they attack with this, I block with Chaos Defiler and I get to take down... actually, I guess I wouldn't get to take this down if they make a Construct. So this will be interesting. Retrofitter, interesting. So I'll take 6. Brainstorm. Okay. Not a great top deck there. I can like chump or double block and then get the other one when Chaos Defiler dies. It's a reasonable line. Teferi is really good. Bouncing the Saga is kind of curious to me. Sure. So if they have a removal spell, this is a blowout. But I can clear their constructs. Swing the Teferi. I think at A life I just have to get rid of the 5/5. Another land is not great. I do have no, they got that Dragon Engine with the Soul Guide Lantern quite a while ago. But now they can crack these clues without having to worry about anything. So I think this is still their game. Especially with another Saga right away. And I'm just drawing lands over here. Yep. Mm-hmm. They have lots of cards in hand. And another Saga. I like Welder. That can play around that Soul Guide Lantern. But yeah, I just need to get one of my own. Hit. Probably doesn't matter. Hit their Ponder. And I will draw a card with this right away. Another land. Oh my god. Alright. I really have nothing going on here. I guess I have a Chaos Defiler in my yard, but the Soul Guide Lantern will block that. But let's say I top deck Ensnaring Bridge. That would be good. Yeah, this is fine. Staff of the Storyteller. Cool deck. So I do have to block here because even if I top deck Ensnaring Bridge, which I think is my only out, they have all these 1/1s. Welder. Just too late for that, isn't it? I'll see if they let me get this. I mean, I should have just sacked the Furnace, but... Okay. Well, I like Bolts and Braids. I do like Karn. Maybe it's the Welders. I don't know, I kind of like Welder too. I probably don't need Soul Guide Lantern. I'll take out 3 Welders and the Chaos Defiler. I think Karn is going to be really good. Yeah, sure, I'll keep. Turn 1 Magus. And I'll use the Petal and I'll use the Guide. Because I think I want to keep the city around. I'll actually start with Engineer. Get Dragon Engine. That's annoying. Yep. Okay, backed by Blast. This seems pretty good. Okay. Hopefully they don't have another basic already. Or like Hydroblast. Ah, that's annoying. Alright, well if they don't have another one, that'll be good. Bolt, not bad. That'll answer Tamiyo. And Tamiyo is about the scariest thing as the board stands that they could probably do. They shuffled. Bolt can also take a turn off the clock. Third land is nice. I think it's worth it to get the bridge down. Another Ponder, so they'll be at 9. Presumably they have a basic Plains in their deck. There it is. Okay. Well, now I'm glad I took the time to get the freaking bridge in. And they get my last card. Sure. And another engineer. So I go to combat. And I'll just like get a bad card out of my deck. But I don't know. I think they've turned the corner by finding their planes. I'll just fail to find. There's no card that I'm unwilling to get here. Because if it's a land, then I can Dragon Engine. Barrowwave, sure. Okay. Draw 3. Okay, another Magus. That's cool. And no reason to attack. This looks like ending, sadly. Yeah. Well, I'll chump. And I'll chump again. Sure. It's actually kind of nice that my Saga will get to keep ticking up. And I can keep chumping the Goyf until it pops. So maybe there's a route to victory. Yeah, I'll chump. I'll play the Karn. I don't think, like, if they decided not to attack the Karn, I don't think there's any creature they could get, really, that I'd be worried about. I'm gonna minus, and I think I'll get Tormod's Crypt. This means if they do go face with the Barrowgoyf, I can, and they like Thoughtseize me, I have a route to getting another Painter. So I'm just trying to play around some stuff here. Okay. And I have plenty of card types. I have 4 card types in mine. They have enough card types in theirs. There's no point in messing with the Crypt right now. Retrofitter Foundry, sure. So if they have Consign would be really good. Green. I mean, the game's over if this doesn't work. All right, they just have the swords. Sure. I guess I have top deck Painter as an option, but I think they got me here. I'll just crypt them now. Takes them off 1 card. And they get a Tamiya. Sure. Guide. Guide can chump. And I'll keep holding the mountain. So at this point, pretty much still have to just draw Painter. They're drawing 2 a turn. This looks pretty bad. Welder. Not the worst, but not good either, really. There's no good cards in my graveyard. I can grind myself. Ah, come on, man. Just have everything. I guess one would have everything when you get to draw 2 a turn and you get to Barrowgoyf. So my best realistic option is that they mill themselves out with Barrowgoyf in combination with Grindstone. So no blocks. I guess they missed there. And I only get 2 cards. Yeah, they have a lot of colors in their deck, so... Oh my god, the lands. Unreal. Play one out. So they don't quite have lethal here. If they have Bowmasters, they got me. I'm not blocking. And they stop using the Barrowgoyf ability. Makes sense. Well, I'll mill them out some more. Painter? Yeah. Well, I'll end in style. Yeah, good games. I mean, they got pretty lucky there to ponder into the planes. I guess they did have multiple planes, but that game felt over when the Magus hit, and they just found their out and then took over from there. So the league ends with a 3-2. Yep, you know, feels about right. I haven't played a lot of Painter in a while. The losses were to this Reanimator deck that just completely wrecked me. And then to this multicolor deck that found their basic underneath Magus. Now, I could have jammed Magus turn 1. I did have that option, and then they might not have even had the island. So I did play a little timidly there, but if they force a willed that, then that really would have put me... You know, basically, the force check turn 1 would have been the entire game, because my mana would have been in a pretty rough situation, where I would have had to, like, 3 for 1, which would have ended up being a 3 for 2. I don't know. Maybe that's what I should have done. But it was fun. It's, you know, Painter feels like a little bit better to play post-ban, I think. I don't know if it's remarkably better, but just to have two really strong decks gone, things slowing down a little bit, it gives you time to set up, but it's also pretty bad against the super fast combo, and that was on full display against that Reanimator deck that just, you know, you either mull to your graveyard hate and have something, or you have nothing, and I risked it, and it just wasn't worth it. So anyway, this was a fun league, and something I hope to revisit at some point in the future. Might try Painter with like a splash, or, you know, everyone has their own little different Painter list, and there's plenty of things to try, especially after the ban. So anyway, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.